Okay, so I've been working on this and I have a nice variety of colors. You can see that I have primarily blue and yellow and red, kind of focusing on the primary colors. There's also some filters that use what they call local color, and I mentioned that in class, but a local color is natural color that didn't change in any way, but maybe a texture or something was added. So this was a local color one where it's literally the colors that were in the original picture, but a texture was added. And same thing with this one up here. You see the color of my skin and little hair and the color of the helmet, so nothing was changed there. A couple things I want to talk about. If you want to change the color of something, it might be because there's a lack of balance. Like let's say right here, this area right here, this, let me make it invisible. This layer right here, I want to change the color. Let's say I want to bring out more blue. So an easy way to do this, once you have a nice filter added, if you hit Command U, which will take you to hue saturation, you can just drag the hue around and you can modify the color that way. If you want it to be monochromatic, like you can kind of see that there's this purple, but then there's this like grayish kind of area. If you want the colors to all be a little more similar, if you hit Colorize, you can see that changes everything to being monochromatic, all tones of that same blue. So once you have something that you really like, you can say OK to it. And the other thing I want to talk about is if you wanted to add another layer, but you want to change the order of the layers. For example, right over here, I want to add another space. I'm not quite sure what, but something kind of long and rectangular would be good. So the whole idea is to go back to the background using the marquee tool. I make a rectangle that I'd like to use, and it can be overlapping or it doesn't have to be overlapping. Actually, I want to make it right up against the edge there, but I don't want to even with any of these horizontal lines. So I'm going to actually bring it down a bit like that. So now I'm going to right click on it and lay a via copy. Now you notice that nothing happened. You don't see the layer because it's all the way down here. I'm going to bring the layer, drag it up so it's in front of the other layers that would be blocking it, which in this case would be layer 3 and layer 5. So you can see I definitely have it visible now, and then I can go ahead and apply a filter to it. Okay. Now you can also use this. Let's say that you want to see what this looks like in front of everybody. You just have to identify it and bring it in front of the layers that are blocking it. So you could definitely play around with that sort of thing. You can also change colors of areas if you want. For example, this one right here. Again, I can go to hue saturation. I would like you to avoid putting a filter on top of another filter. So if I went ahead and went back to the filter gallery, it just makes the filters, the filters end up looking quite mottled. So you're better off, I would prefer you to use them pure. But to change the color of something, even if you want to just make it a little brighter, you can absolutely do that. Okay, so I do want you to have fun with these things. You should have at least 8 to 10 layers added, and the most important thing, not the most important thing, but one of the important things to check is go to the background, make it invisible. If you don't see any difference at all, that means that all of these layers are covering your entire picture, which is what I'm looking for. Each and every space here should be a separate layer with the filters added. All right, so hopefully you're having fun with this and exploring different possibilities. I have one more video to show you some things that you can do that are a little different than what the traditional project is.